Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful Sunday morning, and today I have Sterling.
Good morning, everybody. It's a
And
wonderful
listen,
day in
I
the
get a lot
neighborhood.
of
Yeah.
emails of people say, "Oh my God, Sterling was great."
It's always fun doing these shows.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. I really enjoy our time, even if it's just once a month. I'm just happy to have you. We didn't do
Yeah.
last time because you had obligations, but that's a rarity. I'm the one that usually has to put you on hold because of all my stuff. And you said,
Had
"Look,
to
I
had to
don't think I can
schedule
do." Yeah,
had to schedule fun.
yeah,
So
you need
yeah,
your downtime, my friend.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So we got our questions here. Thank you to Linda, and thank you to Daniel, who sorted these
Absolutely.
out for
Yeah.
us because, and I don't look at them and you don't know. We just kind of go through them.
Yeah.
Okay. And listen, to submit questions, for some reason, I still get them sent to my email. To submit questions, you guys, when I announce that Sterling's coming Sunday, you post it underneath the comments for that announcement. You know, we're having Sterling on Sunday. Please post your comments below, because that way Linda and Daniel can take it off that. If you
Exactly.
send me an email, it's just sometimes it's too hard.
Right.
Okay, here we go. Ooh. Hi, Sterling. Now that Boris Johnson has resigned, as predicted, by the way,
hmm
what happens next for the UK?
Well, I'm going to say good things, because what's going to happen is they're going to have more of over the next few weeks here. They're going to go some sort of an aggressive voting process, and probably going to get somebody more moderate than Boris. So
Okay.
the thing that's going to be interesting here is what I'm being told is that there's going to be a little bit of a rush to reinstall a lot of the party members that resigned. Right.
Okay.
So Boris is trying to stay around to keep his hand on the pulse of everything, to try to still be influential. The other thing they're telling me right here, right now, is that looks like Brexit could be under some sort of, they may try to turn around Brexit. So that momentum that Boris was behind, they may try to turn it around.
Well, years ago, I saw Brexit as not being a nothing burger, so that could, yep, that
Yep.
could happen.
I see it. My guy just told me there's going to be a threat to Brexit. So
Cool, cool. Sterling, you stated last week that the marriages for gay people would be reversed by SCOTUS. Will this cancel all these individuals' rights they have as a couple, such as shared health benefits?
no, not outright. And I don't remember whoever said this quote. I know that the Supreme Court's going to put a lot of these rights that we have, same-sex marriage and whatnot, and gay rights are going to be under challenge. They are. However, I see a lot of court fights at the state level and the federal level, so that this person asked about health insurance. I see a lot of the healthcare companies not retracting all the coverage for fear of liability. So they're going to let it ride. And I think their lawyers are going to tell them, let it ride until, let's say, there's a final decision, in which case all the rights are going to come back. So remember, within 18 months, I saw the Supreme Court completely being revamped.
Yes.
So, all these will be
It's
protected.
funny you
So,
said that. Yeah, because I get that
yeah,
feeling, sometimes our guides give us that feeling like not to worry, this too shall pass.
yeah,
But this just them threatening this. What they've done with the cases of abortions is those ants I saw coming out to vote. People are not going to put up with this. But
right.
how could they tell California you can't do this? They can't do that.
Yeah, and it's all because they're interpreting, a document hundreds of years old, verbatim, word for word. And that's where my guys always keep saying that when, in a year and a half, 2 years here, we're going to have many more amendments to the Constitution.
Okay.
So it's going to a lot. I even see like half a dozen amendments coming in that even will be somewhat reflective of the Second Amendment. Put some more guidelines around the Second Amendment, like you can't own an
An
M1 tank,
AK. Yeah.
or you can't own a tank.
There you go. So,
So
do you see people who are already married getting their rights revoked, or you're seeing
no, no.
just for future?
I see that the threat is out there, but it won't get revoked because it'll never go through the legal channels to nullify it all. And before it could ever get that far, the Supreme Court is newly reinstalled. We're going to have a total of 4 new members, 2 additional ones, going up to 11 is what my guys have always said. And we'll have 2 more replacements. So it'll be a new context to the Supreme Court. Yeah.
Awesome. We just, I just know the Supreme Court's going to get revamped. So,
They will.
okay, what causes interstitial cystitis, also known as bladder syndrome? And I know so many people with this. Will there ever be a cure?
I always have to say I'm not a doctor. I know you're not a doctor either.
And for entertainment purposes only.
Exactly. But, I get very clearly around that is it's related to some kind of parasite. So there's a parasite that will be isolated and then drugs develop to affect that parasite.
Isn't that
So,
something?
yeah. And again, because I'm not a doctor, at the gene level, I'm not sure what the classification of parasites are, but it's like a micro parasite organism. Yeah.
Okay. Will Lindsey Graham be forced to comply with the subpoena?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Actually, I see an indictment from the DOJ. Yeah. Which he'll fight, he'll get his lawyers to fight
Well,
it.
he says he doesn't have to show up with a subpoena for Georgia.
Yeah. I think he's going to have more trouble in Georgia than he will be with, what's happening as a result of January 6th. Yeah.
So, so he's going to say, they're going to say, no, you have to come.
Right.
And will he understand that he has to come? Because he knows the information he has is going to be awful.
Yeah, I do see him negotiating a bit of a backdoor deal. So maybe, for example, closed door testimony that they record, something of that nature.
Well, he worries about what happens to him because, Trump is on him like flies, so you know what.
Sure. Well, he was playing golf with 45 a week or two ago, right down in Mar-a-Lago. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I think Russia has something on him, too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Putin is ready to exit stage left. Does he have a standing order with one or several assassins to take out Zelensky, whether it be in the next week or 10 years from now?
I don't see that, but I do see the military has marching orders, just like they do in warfare, right? Planning warfare to try to take out Zelensky. They won't be successful, but I don't see it being called out as specific assassins.
Okay.
And by the way, when the war calms down, as we get towards the end of this year, even and Putin is off the planet, a lot of that will go away too. The threats to Zelensky. So
thank you. I just heard on the news this morning they've managed to take 20%, but 20% isn't a lot considering how long they've been fighting.
Right. So, right.
Is the Supreme Court safety in jeopardy?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I assume whoever asked it, they're asking about the safety of the individual justices, like Kavanaugh or something.
Like I guess Kavanaugh was at a restaurant more.
Yeah, it is. It is like a lot of public figures, but I do feel they're going to get the necessary protection. So yeah, for a few years here, they're going to be somewhat of a heightened threat around the justices.
I don't see a justice taken out though, and I saw that attempted assassination to somebody big. I had no idea it was going to be the Japanese, though. None. But I predicted there's going to be assassination attempt, but I couldn't see where. But, that was terrible. That was terrible.
Well, the 2 days ago, I was just telling Linda, I said, I have a real concern that somebody major in our political landscape is going to go out. It's going to die.
Well, there you
now,
go.
I thought I thought it was in the US. Now, by the way, that feeling hasn't left me. So when Abe, well, no, I think it includes Abe is the point. So Abe was the first one, and I think there's somebody else here in the U.S. So
that's funny you said that because I had a feeling like at least an attempted assassination attempt.
Well, the one that looks like it's coming up looks like it's more of kind of a natural health death to me for somebody that's prominent in the U.S. here in government. Yeah, so we'll see.
The things that are coming out from the January 6th Commission that these good old boys or whatever they're called had bombs and they had an assassination hit list.
Right.
But Sterling, may I say, if they had actually gone in there and Trump had gone with them and they assassinated people, the army would have come in and got rid of the whole lot of them.
Yeah. Would have a whole different outcome. Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Or if they had hung Mike Pence, the nation would not have put up with that.
Right.
No. It's like it wouldn't have worked for his benefit at all. What an idiot. Okay. We know Russia is weakening. Will they retreat from Ukraine by the fall?
And that's like September through November timeframe. Yeah, fall. Yeah, that's around the timetable when all this is going to start to calm down. It is.
I
Yeah.
pray all the time for them.
Yeah, but I do see, because it's linked to Putin's passing. So that kind of shifts the whole power framework within Russia. And people take the whole, I think Russia takes a step back and says, wait a minute, let's reanalyze our strategy. What are we doing? You know, so.
What I saw was the Ukraine reporting that the Russians were retreating, but they didn't know why. Because I don't think we're going to know when Putin dies right away.
No,
They'll keep it
that's
hush-hush.
for sure. Yeah.
But I just feel like they're saying, hey, they're leaving. You know what I'm saying? And then,
Right.
okay, on July 6th at 4 a.m., someone bombed Georgia's Guidestones. What is going on there? Who did it, and what was their intention behind the demolishing? Did the destruction have any kind of negative energy or agenda against humanity contained in the Guidestones?
No, let me give you a framework around this. I've read on the Georgia Guidestones before, and what I got was they were paid for by some very prominent GOP or right-wing person that paid for them. Now, I get that whatever this attack was, somebody was put up to it. So they said, you know, we need to get rid of that messaging or whatever it is. They were put up to it. So I don't get any evil energy. I think it was that the context of the question, evil energy or bad energy, but it was somebody in society that didn't like the messaging on those Georgia Guidestones. And they say things like, if I remember correctly, a big Holocaust worldwide, big, you know, Armageddon, and only 80 million people left or something. The Guidestones have some very interesting messaging on them.
I didn't know. I don't even know what they are, but I'm going to look them up.
Yeah, I did a reading on them a month or two ago to see what they were all about. And they said, yeah, there's, because they wondered where they came from. And it was a very wealthy individual, single individual that paid for them and put them up.
Okay, so there was no cameras or anything then?
They have a camera shot of the explosion going off. So I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know anything about that. But what I do know from what my guides are telling me is that somebody was put up to it. It's like somebody was paid to go do it. You know, so there's planning involved here.
Awesome. Okay, and what do you see with COVID for the rest of the year?
And you and I were talking about this a little bit earlier.
Yeah, we were.
But for months now, my guides have been saying that we're going to have a surge right now in the middle of the year. We're right in the middle of it now. So BA5 is surging right now. That's a Delta variant, and you're going to see increased hospitalization rates. I mean, the good news is we're going to kind of get through it. And then towards the end of this year, there's one more surge, big surge coming with a different variant, but there'll be a new vaccine for those that want to take advantage of it. There'll be a new vaccine. So that's all coming. So you got a surge now, a surge at the end of the year. And my guides have always said, as we get out towards the middle of next year, we'll finally be moving into an endemic. So there'll be some sort of an annual kind of flu shot for COVID that everybody will get that wants it. So we're kind of navigating our way out of it.
Okay. Thank you. And you said a new vaccine will be coming up too.
I do. I see a new vaccine for this new variant at the end of the year, because this will be unlike anything they've seen before, the one that's coming at the end of the year. Yeah.
Okay. 1 year ago, a geologist named Daniel Robinson disappeared from the desert near Phoenix, Arizona. His Jeep was discovered by a rancher in a remote area. It had been in a rollover accident. Can you shed some light on this case?
What's his name again?
His name was Daniel Robinson.
Well, there's something going on here with people that knew him and jealousy. So it looks like there was some sort of a relationship situation going on with this person. So whatever happened, whatever situation came up on this person, if authorities are listening, I think they can go through a cell phone and figure this out, because there's some sort of a communication here with the cell phone. I mean, there's some jealousy going on here. So I can't tell you whether, you know, he was speaking to somebody that somebody was very jealous of. And then, so that's what's going on here. Yeah.
Do you think
but they'll figure it out.
Do you think he's still alive? For entertainment purposes only.
What state was this again? It was Arizona?
It happened in Phoenix.
Phoenix.
I'm not seeing life form.
Yeah, no, it looked to me like he hung on for a long time is what I'm looking at. So whenever they tried to hurt him, he hung on for a long time.
Yeah.
But to me, it looks like he may have finally passed.
I think,
But they're
that
gonna,
country is
yeah,
brutal and it's hot. Oh my God.
yeah. But it to me, what they're telling me is he was targeted. So this is like not a random
Wow.
situation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
Sorry to hear that for the family. But,
yeah, it's gonna be like 112 degrees in Texas today. I feel bad for people in heat because sure enough, you're gonna lose the power. And the elderly
mhm.
and the young, oh God, I always worry. Okay, Christopher Wray of the FBI and Ken McCollum, MI5, announced Wednesday that they are calling Beijing the biggest long-term threat to economic security. What do you see? What does that mean? Christopher Wray, the FBI, and
Well,
Ken McCollum,
yeah,
MI5.
that's like the equivalent of the FBI
Yeah.
overseas. Yeah.
Oh, international.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. What I do see is that that's a very factual statement. So what I do get from my team is that before long, some of the future here, eventually China's economy will be 10 times the size of like the US economy.
Okay,
So
because it was going downhill for a while here.
it will yield a lot of strength because of that around influencing capital markets and minerals and resources and Bitcoin and digital currency. And actually, it's going to be a threat is probably a good word, but every country in the world has to monitor and manage very carefully how they work with China,
Okay.
because China's out for China for
Yeah.
entertainment purposes
Did you
only.
hear
Yeah.
that they're even claiming the moon right now?
Yeah, then
China is.
that won't go very far.
Okay. What is the actual cause of gas prices?
What's the
What's the actual
core?
cause of the
Yeah,
surge in gas prices?
natural supply and demand function. So right now we're going through a supply problem where it's a decreased supply, increased demand, so it's driving up the price. What's interesting, whenever I read on this, I see the OPEC countries, there's like 15 OPEC countries in OPEC, that they're going to start ramping up production and start to tilt that demand supply equation. So we'll have much more supply in the market when the prices will start coming down. I think we'll see significant drops in pricing towards the end of this year, right?
Yeah, and also,
Incremental.
we have a lot of pumps out here, oil wells that we're not pumping because of COVID and we stopped. But there's also a little bit of greed here because in the meantime, Exxon and all Texaco and all these people are making big money.
Mm-hmm. But I do see that the 15 countries that are part of OPEC, and Saudi Arabia is one of them, they're going to put a much greater supply on the market so that the demand will get satisfied. That's going to bring the prices down. So
Okay.
the answer to the question I've asked, it's a classic demand supply demand.
And also Russia doesn't help.
Well, that's what's causing some of the supply problems worldwide. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a good one. Well, does Satan ever run for president in 2024?
Yeah, I've read on this before. I feel he'll be one of the candidates that's going to try to
Me
run.
too.
He'll try to
Me
run.
too.
Yeah.
That's why Trump, I heard, wants to announce right away because he wants to do what he can to deter to Satan from running.
For fundraising. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but Trump and his people have some information on the Satan they're going to try to throw out there. Okay, when the winner of 2024 presidential race is announced, what will happen in the US? Any trouble of any kind?
Sure. Yeah. Well, we'll see a bit of a repeat. Unfortunately, it won't be the January 6th insurrection, but we'll see a lot of rioting and a lot of unrest. We will for many months. Maybe a good year. It's just the way it is right now. But the military and the police organizations are going to be
on board. Yeah.
They'll be much more ready to handle it. Yeah.
Yeah. Very often when I'm watching videos, I see a fast moving white orbs flying through my field of view. I guess these are spirits, energies. Every so often I see a black orb, which gives me an unsettling feeling. Are these black orbs negative or is it their color that is making me judge them as such? I've never seen a black orb. That sounds like a UFO.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think this person said they're in their living room watching TV. I think they said, right?
When I am watching videos.
I
Huh.
assume they're in their house or something. Yeah, if that was my assumption. But anyway, the light colored orbs are very high energetically. The
Very.
darker orbs, there aren't negative. They're like orbs in training.
Okay.
So it's like it takes a little bit of practice on the other side to be able to kind of energetically show yourself as a brighter light. It takes practice. So the darker orbs are kind of, I don't want to say lower energy. They're kind of an orb in training. It's not dark energy. It's just, they haven't got the skill down yet.
Okay. Will the Democrats gain enough Senate seats via the midterms to make Washington, D.C. a state?
It's an interesting question. Yeah, I get within like 1 to 2 years here, it'll happen. But it only takes a simple majority to make that happen. I think in Congress, in the House and the Senate, and it's come very close in prior years. But now we'll have all the votes that are needed. So they tell me no faster than a year, but within like 2 years, yeah, we'll have statehood. Yeah.
I took a friend to an animal shelter to look at the dogs, and there was a little care that started. What? Wait, I took a look at dogs, and there was a little care that stared at me so intently. It must be a dog. A little care that stared at me so intently. So it must have been stared at me so intently, not stated at me so intently, that I ended up bringing her home. So it must be a little dog. Maybe it's even a cat that stared at me. Okay. She was so appreciative when I got her home. That night I had her on my bed and I was half awake, half asleep. And I turned on my back and my arm went off the bed and right into the mouth of a lion-sized cat, like a gargoyle creature sitting there by my bed. My arm went into its mouth to above my elbow, and I could feel its teeth touching me. I felt as if this creature had a sense of humor and was somehow connected to that cat. I sat up in bed, turned on the light, and of course there was nothing there. What was that? That is a weird story.
So now we know it's a cat. I think it mentions a cat there a couple of times. It's a cat. It's okay. That was the guardian angel of that cat. So that actually was what I'm picking up. That was a thank you. So that there was the guardian angel of that cat saying thank you, even though it may have been a disturbing. I guess she said she put her arm in the gargoyle's mouth, but it was really a thank you. Thank you for bringing her home.
And also, she felt that it had a sense of humor.
Yeah,
she didn't feel like a doom and gloom. She felt like it had a sense of humor.
Yeah, we've had a lot of animals over the years, and sometimes dogs like to gnaw at your arm. You know what I mean? They're not biting you; they just like to play with you. And so that's what I'm being told was going on. There was a big thank you and kind of playing with you. Yeah.
Right. Okay, that was an interesting story. Something new.
Yeah, at least we determined it was a cat.
Yeah, it was. We couldn't tell. It said care, and then it said stayed.
Oh, good.
It meant stared. Okay. After we die, if our souls do not learn a certain lesson in this lifetime, do we reincarnate and continue the lesson until it is learned?
If you like. So there's free will when you go back to the other side. And then there's thousands of levels in heaven, and energetically people have a desire to keep moving forward, and kind of just like even life, you want to move forward when you're down here. So it's completely free will choice. If you come down here for a set of lessons, you don't feel like you learned them very well, you can come back again and put that on your life path if you want. Mm-hmm.
Now that the Supreme Court plans on taking up gerrymandering issues, how will this turn out? They know better than to take it up. I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of ruckus and all of that too, a lot of court fighting. So it looks like the Supreme Court's going to try to turn over, rights back to the states and let all the gerrymandering stand. But it's going to be challenged in a lot of state and federal courts. So the challenge, here's the thing, because it'll all be challenged, it's going to stall all the progress. So a lot of the things they're trying to manipulate won't. Anyway, there's so many voters coming out these elections that it won't be the factor that they hoped it would. That's the most important thing.
That's the most important thing. Exactly. Sterling, here in North Italy, we are experiencing unusual high temperatures, drought, and critical water shortages. Do you see an improvement soon?
They're telling me it's almost somewhat like the West, like what we're going through in the Western US. It's
And
almost
in
like
Utah.
another 3 years to go here, I see, for Italy. So it'll be touch and go for drought and major weather problems for a good 3 years here. So look for kind of the end of 2025 for it to get a little bit better.
Okay. Are we able to become ascended masters? If we are able, do we no longer reincarnate? Aren't ETs ascended masters as they are more evolved than humans? So
that's a very multi-layered. That's a very multi-layered question. There's like 3 layers in there.
Yeah.
So first off, my team says that only a very select number of individuals really become ascended masters. It's a very specialized area, very close to angelic energy. So we don't really become ascended masters. Only a very select few. ETs, extraterrestrials, are not ascended masters. They have a high level understanding and love around the universe, but they're not ascended masters. They work with angels and ascended masters. They do, because they can move in and out of different dimensions. Heaven's a dimension. And was there a third question in there? We don't become ascended masters. ETs are not ascended masters.
Yeah, you can't just asked about ET. And do we no longer reincarnate when we're, ascended masters don't reincarnate, yeah.
Well, they do occasionally. That's the interesting part, right? So that's how Buddha came down, and Jesus, and
Okay. Oh, here's a question from the Netherlands. I live in the Netherlands. At this moment, there is a lot of unrest among our farmers due to the emissions of too much nitrogen oxide. This is damaging for nature, and as a result, the farmers will have to cut the livestock. This is making farmers furious. Will there be a solution for the emissions of nitrogen oxide worldwide?
Another big question there. The first part of the question was the farmers are up in arms, right, in the Netherlands, right, because of government. What I get on that is there's going to be, I'm going to call it a bartering or a negotiation around all that. So it looks to me like the government may be putting undue stress on the farmers, but the government's going to try to rebalance the requirements for reducing those oxides, because they're going to work with like transportation, aviation, like other areas that are also affecting that. So what I'm getting is over the next number of months here, if everybody in the Netherlands is listening, the next 3 to 6 months here, it's going to come back to a much more reasonable platform. They'll say, okay, the farmers, then we're not going to put so many requirements on you, and now we're going to shift over to transportation, aviation, housing, other areas. So. Okay,
that's good. Can our blueprint be changed once we incarnate?
Yeah, this question comes up a lot because that's kind of how free will intersects your blueprint. You come down here on a blueprint with major goals, like I'm going to help humankind. I'm going to invent an artificial heart. I'm going to be a teacher to thousands of people. You come down with a kind of a blueprint. Now you can shift it around a little bit, but you definitely come down to achieve certain things. So I don't see you really change the master blueprint. You might change how you achieve it, how fast you achieve it, at the scale, completion, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Right. That makes total sense. Do you see anything coming up this next week?
I do like 4 different things here. I see leaked testimony from 45's attorney. So that was a Cipollone, I think was his name.
Yeah.
I know
so he gave them a lot of info.
He gave 7 hours of testimony, but it was behind closed doors. But I just see that we're going to start, some of it's going to leak out this week, and I think in a good way, that's going to back up Hutchinson and her testimony, those kinds of things. I do see more information coming out. We talked about this earlier on the BA.5 variant that's going around right now, the vaccine plans that are coming up. I also see new FAA guidelines coming out because of all the airport controversy going on, the shortage of pilots.
Right.
So I see the FAA coming back now to the airlines saying you're going to have to kind of re-level set. You can't do business like you were before when you already know you have 30% less pilots. Like you can't.
Right. Yeah, that's what they were
So I
doing.
see the FAA, they're telling the FAA is going to get involved in that.
And Pete Bootylicious, he told them that he reminded, and I let a lot of my friends know, they have to offer you a cash refund. They can't just give you a ticket for another. No, you have the right to ask for your money back.
There's a lot of horror stories, as you know, going on in the airports right now, just, just terrible. So
my son's friend was kind of, I think he applied for Southwest, and he lives out here in Marin County, and Dallas, they're flying him to Texas to interview him. And he's got no previous experience as a stewardess. But I said, oh yeah, they're desperate. They're getting people over. They want to talk to them. We want to look at them.
So I do see, for some reason, the FAA coming out this week with some sort of new guidelines for the airlines to put some more reasonableness back into the traveler experience that's coming up.
And they are doing mass training with having to do less time. But I see not as well-trained pilot with a well-trained pilot. So you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It won't be a not real well-trained pilot doing the whole thing, because I know people are nervous. So,
or at least somebody that spent 100 hours on Microsoft Simulator, at least. Okay. That was a little joke, don't?
Well, yeah, my sister and I are going to Oklahoma, and boy, you can't just fly into Oklahoma anymore. You got to stop someplace else. And we got we're 6 hours from where we are to Oklahoma. It's like, really? And there's a long wait, I think, in Denver or something. But yeah, I got my books ready to go. Okay. Do you have anything you guys want to share?
Today, they'd like everybody to know to be visible to the world through thoughtful interaction and make a difference. Mm-hmm. So that means putting yourself out there, not through anger and reacting to things, but through interaction in a loving way to help the world move forward. That's kind of a message for today.
Keep that vibrational energy. That's what we're all about. We're all energy.
Exactly.
So my friend, how do people reach you?
Easily, just go to sterlingpsychicmedium.com, look for the book a session tab. It's all straightforward from there. Very easy. Yep. And
also, you have a contest when you reach a certain amount of people, every 1,000, I think.
We do. We do, yeah. Every 1,000 levels of subscribers we get to, we're headed towards 25,000 right now. And I give away a free half-hour session with myself. We do.
Right. So it's worth it, you guys. Subscribe. And then when do you announce the winner?
On the show that we cross the next 1,000 level. Yeah. We pick it from the comments that are in that show.
Okay.
Yeah. Very easy. Yeah. Lots of fun.
That's what I'm talking about, my friend. Okay, sweetie. So it was wonderful talking to you, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks, hopefully.
Sounds good. Absolutely.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. Bye.